I'm not really sure if we're supposed to like introduce ourselves or anything, but the quote that I chose was, "The painter pondered the mournful puzzle of life. He thought of war, he thought of plague, he thought of starvation. He let his paintbrush fall to the drop cloth below, and then he had about enough of life in the happy garden." And I'm going to talk about the specific quotes first before I talk about the close reading or the context of it. Or I should at least say, right before this quote, Welling kills the doctor and the woman, and the painter is kind of thinking about what happened before this quote happens. Just to give you a little bit of context, so what I'm saying makes a little more sense, I guess. And the first part I want to talk about is specifically this one, which I thought was interesting, because when he thinks about, he thought of plague, he thought of starvation. In this world that they live in, there's not really any of that. So there's literally, it's not a thing anymore. In the society that they live in. And I think this kind of goes back to earlier within the document, the text, where he wants more messiness out of the world and out of society. And this could also let me just write this down. It wants more messy of the world and their society, because where is it? There's no prisons, there's no slums, no insane asylums, no cripples, no poverty, no wars. All diseases are conquered, as well as old age. And so I think when he's not, I think, how do I even say this? When he says he thought of plague, he thought of starvation, I think most people would think he's thinking about the negative things in life. But I believe this is him actually wanting more bad things out of like life. More negative aspects out of life. Because as of right now, the society that they live in is apparently picture perfect, besides the fact that they are overpopulated. Because I'm pretty sure they said 44 million, and not million, oh my god, 44 billion? Or wait, let me look this up really quick so I don't embarrass myself. Many people in the world. Yeah. Like 7 billion compared to now. And I think he just wants more out of life than the society that he lives in can give to him. Does that make sense? Wants more out of life than society that he lives in can give to him. Okay. And I think this can also go into this specific quote here. Let me highlight this a different color. My goodness. Okay. Sorry, the highlighters are kind of all out of whack. Okay, cool. When this specific part of the larger quote is really interesting to me, especially because earlier in the text, when he's talking to the orderly about his mural, and he's saying like, oh, is this what your idea of life looks like? And the painter kind of gestures to the messy drop cloth and says, there's a good picture of it. Frame that and you'll have a picture a damn sight more honest than this one. And I think that this can also relate to relates to he thought of plague, he thought of starvation. Because this also represents him just wanting the messiness out of life. I'm kind of doing this out of order because it just makes more sense to me this way, and plus those specific quotes are kind of more fun to talk about, I guess. And this one I've just been kind of breaking up, so I'm gonna unhighlight that. And then for the one in green, enough of life in the happy garden. This is a reference back to his mural that is kind of the picture perfect society that is painted within the hospital. And I also think it's significant that the whole scene with Welling killing the doctor happens in front of this mural. What do I call it, a murder? The murder. Oh sure. The murder happens in front of the mural. I think that's also significant. I know it's not in the quote specifically, but I just think it's interesting to talk about. And I'll put a little asterisk that says significant. And the specific phrasing enough is sort of is definitely him being like, I'm done. The painter is saying, I am done with life, because the mural is supposed to represent life in general at this time. And and then the painter pondered the mournful puzzle of life. I had a really good idea for this quote at the time, but right now I'm drawing a major blank, which is kind of embarrassing because I don't want to go silent because it'll be weird. Oh my goodness. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be. Okay. The painter pondered the mournful puzzle of life. I don't know. I just think the term mournful is interesting because almost everyone in the text is super happy the way that they're living, except for Wellington and the painter. So I almost think that mournful is not how do I say it? It's not the usual, like when people are thinking, like people in this society don't think of their life in a sad context, if that makes any sense. Like all diseases are gone, everything is perfect, no prisons, no anything like that. So I think that most people are happy with the life they live in this society. But I do not know how to phrase this. I'm so sorry. I could just say that most people do not reference life as mournful in the society that they live in, at least from what we can infer from the people that have been introduced. I mean, with the exception of Welling. Ooh, is that his name? Have I just been saying it wrong this entire time? Oh my goodness. Yeah, Welling. Yeah, that's right. Okay. That's really it, I think. Yeah, that's all I have to talk about. Well, I guess I can talk. For the close reading, I said the painter has lost his will to live, because I cannot remember if I talked about this or not, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. Because in the beginning of the text, he was very adamant on not wanting to go out through the to be or not to be services, which he does after this quote. And I'm honestly not sure if I just talked about this either. I've recorded a couple of these that were pretty bad, so now it's all kind of jumbled up. Oh, and I also think this quote is very Hamlet-like, which I think is pretty cool, especially because the services are called to be or not to be. Especially this sort of scene or quote where the painter is pondering whether or not he should live or die. Like, is it worth it, or would it just be easier to end it? I think the painter is very Hamlet-like, which is, well, not cool because, I mean, I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. Oh my god, I'm going crazy. Okay, well, that's all I have to say then. I hope this makes sense. Thank you.